All right, we're going to get started with the 7 o'clock session. All right, thank you for coming to our stakeholders event. Many of you were here at 6 o'clock. Some of you have now gotten here for the 7 o'clock presentation. This is now, so RRC, that what we did at 6, is to celebrate where we've gone so far. This is to continue the vision and see where we can go. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. You're going to get to hear from two of us, myself, and then Lee Young from MEDC, who is somewhere around here. She'll be up here in a minute. I'm going to cast a broad vision, and then I'm going to invite engagement with you and those that are listening to the recording and those that don't listen to the recording that want to be a part of this. We're inviting you to be a part of building a precise vision. We're starting with broad ideals, and then we're going to bring it down and we're going to bring preciseness to it. And Lee is going to assist us in establishing a community vision and doing all these things. I'll just say it that way. So at the end, this is what the end product is from tonight, starting tonight. I hope that we build a community network that will produce a precise vision for downtown and participate in its implementation. So it's building the vision and then also being a part of the implementation. So here's the broad vision. It can be summarized in 2 words: safe and appealing. My staff are sick of me saying it already, probably. Safe and appealing. But it couldn't be more true. We can summarize what we want to be in those 2 words. And we're talking about downtown, that's our focus, but it does apply to all of Shelby as well. So what does safe and appealing look like? These are not stock photos, by the way. These are real photos that I took of Shelby. And we got people gathering. We have children playing. We have place-making spaces that are appealing, that look nice. We got pretty night lighting. Weed-free and edge sidewalks. Man, isn't it amazing how much a weed-free sidewalk and edge makes a difference? I mean, can I get an amen on that? And then groomed trees, garbage-free sidewalks, and parks, of course. What else does it look like? It's safe for pedestrians and school kids. So we have our crosswalks. That's actually done now, by the way. We have well-designed facades. We got the Wickster building here. That's you made it to the PowerPoint here, Larry. Smooth, well-maintained, and well-planned traffic roads and traffic configurations. That makes sense. Also, we got activities that draw people to downtown, such as festivals, farmers market, maybe a social district, whatever our community wants to do with that. The rear side of our buildings downtown, they're brush-free. The concrete, the asphalt looks nice. It's not aged. There's no potholes. That's what it looks like. Parking lots are in good shape, like I said. The bike trail traffic is invited to come downtown to kind of lure them into downtown, that's a nice way to come on downtown, right from the bike trail. Updated signage, nice trash bins. I mean, you think about what is a trash bin? Well, that makes a difference. If they're nice-looking trash bins, that does make a difference on people's perceptions. Cute planters and nice greenery, includes trees and shrubs and that sort of thing. These are stock photos. Perhaps it could even be we could have a shared street. Not saying that's where we're going to go. I'm just saying, just throwing out some bigger concepts. A shared street where people, pedestrians, and vehicles kind of share the street. Decorative stamped concrete sidewalks. It's a broad vision, broad idea. Actually, it gets more specific, I guess. But do we want to go in that direction? Do we want to maybe go into pretty night lighting that looks like this? That's super, super cool, called festoon lighting. I got a lot of these ideas from Don. Thanks, Don, from Fleece and Vandenbrink. Well, we want to continue to embrace. I was talking with Phil Carter about this just a few minutes ago. We want to continue to embrace who we are. We're an agricultural community, a small town. We don't want to become, I think I can speak for almost everybody here, that we don't want to become a Grand Rapids or a Holland or a Muskegon. We want to maintain that small town feel and community. We want to maintain the agriculture. Can I get an amen on that? Is that right? All right. We've got some rich history here, steeped in rich history. And we want to maintain that. We want to embrace that and keep that. So what does it not look like? What does safe and appealing not look like? Okay, these are not stock photos, unfortunately. These are photos that I took in Shelby. Weeds growing in sidewalks, on edge sidewalks. Just look at that. Doesn't that just make you kind of want to go, They're not taking care of their property or where they live. Aged parking lots and roads, cracked potholes. Just doesn't look nice. It's not safe and appealing. It also doesn't look like this. We don't, overgrown trees, bushes behind the building. We have somebody driving down the bike trail or riding their bike down the bike trail, and then, looking at that, that's not what we want. Dark, unsafe conditions, that's not safe and appealing. That's not what we want in Shelby. So who is it? Who carries out this broad and the precise vision? Is it just the village staff? Is it just the business owners, the village council? No, it's all of these and probably more. I'm probably missing people on the list and groups of people. The village staff, our job is to go above and beyond. That is our job. Now, we can't go and clear the edge of everybody's driveway from snow after we plowed snow into the end of their driveway. We can't do that. But we can still go above and beyond in other ways. There's many other ways that we can go above and beyond. And we're doing that, and we're going to continue doing that. Village staff, we need to educate citizens on ordinances. That's why we started a YouTube station. The Village of Shelby, if you didn't know that, we have a YouTube channel here in the Village of Shelby that we educate. And then we also we're going to hold people accountable to what the ordinances are. There might be times down the road where you're like, okay, I'm doing my part. Why aren't the others? Just want you to know that there might be a possibility that we are holding people accountable or we are working with people, and you just may not know it. But we are, if you're keeping your sidewalks clear and you're weed free and all that, and you see your neighbor that's not, we are possibly and probably working with them to get that cleared up. It's just a matter of a process and time. We're going to pursue state and federal grant dollars and certifications. MEDC is here tonight, and they're going to help us with that. Pursue private donations. We're going to engage with the community like we are right now. And then we're going to maintain public spaces that are safe and appealing. Village Council's role. They have a role in this. And that's to plan and fund road projects accordingly, according to the amount of taxes we have and the grants that we get. Also, infrastructure improvements, water, sewer, parks. We need to continue to apply, and we are continuing to apply for, the Village Council applies for grants on those things, but also out of our own funding. Master planning with visioning in mind. We do have a master plan coming up this year, which we got a grant for to be able to do it for free for the village. It's state taxpayer dollars that are taking care of the master plan. Thanks to Mr. Raffaelli for connecting us with McKenna, and they're taking care of that for us, and they applied on our behalf. The Village Council is appropriating funding for DPW, police department in the office appropriately, and then also utilizing local economic development resources where it fits. Okay, local business owners, we need them to steward their buildings, have appealing facades, well-maintained rear areas, free sidewalks that are free of garbage, free of weeds, they're edged, and the lawns where it fits. In downtown, there's not a whole lot of lawns, but where it fits to be well-trimmed. And then state programs. That's MEDC. They're here to help us out. There's some state programs that are available to us that are going to help find some dollars for us, and so they have their part, and we appreciate them assisting with us in that. And then also we have volunteers. Volunteers have their part, and maybe that's what you can do. It starts by being here and or watching, and we appreciate that. So that's on committee leadership, committee members, just volunteering activities, like manual work in some cases. And it will depend on what your skill set is. Donors. There are some people in the community that would love to donate to make things happen in Shelby. So we're going to participate with them, and they also have a role in this as well. And then Lee can come on up as I'm talking about this. I already talked about the master planning process that we have now started engaging in that. And that will also be a future land use update, a map update, and as well as our zoning. We've just updated our zoning in 2023. We're going to do it again and see what other steps we need to take in 2025. Thanks, Lee.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you everyone for being here. I love coming to community meetings where the room is full. Sometimes I come and there's only a couple people in the room, so this is super exciting for us and our team. Michigan Main Street, much like RRC, is just another tool that the village can have in its economic development toolbox to help you reach the vision and priorities that you have locally for yourselves. So I have a short presentation about what the program and framework is, but first I want to start by talking about Michigan Economic Development Corporation's strategic priority areas. Our economic development strategy is to support projects, people, and we think, in our department, most importantly, places. That's places like the village of Shelby, and that's why we have tools to help you with your economic development priorities. We help communities support and grow talent, support small businesses, develop attractive places, and market the state, really. Michigan Main Street fits into all of the areas, really, of MEDC's strategic plan, and so I just wanted to showcase what MEDC's strategic plan is. Michigan Main Street is part of the National Main Street Center, so it is a nationwide program that started in the 1980s. There are 45 state, city, or county coordinating programs like Michigan Main Street that provide technical assistance to local communities throughout the entire country. The movement really grew out of the decline of vibrant downtown areas because of things like suburban shopping malls and auto-oriented development. But since the 1980s, the National Main Street Center has really paved the way for downtown revitalization and a renaissance of downtown areas throughout the entire country. And what's really important to note is that a majority of the communities nationwide that use the Main Street framework have a rural framework like the village of Shelby. So, I like to show the reinvestment statistics that the National Main Street Center collects nationwide, and we at Michigan Main Street also collect these. But you can see all of the local reinvestment that's occurred through these reinvestment statistics, like the dollars of investment that have occurred right in downtown areas, the number of volunteer hours, the number of net new businesses, and the number of jobs. So we do collect these economic impact tallies to show exactly the economic impact that investing in your downtown can have. So Michigan Main Street then exists to help communities attract residents and businesses, encourage local investment, and build community ownership of what you want your downtown to become and how you want to maintain its current character. We became a coordinating program in 2003, so last year we celebrated our 20-year anniversary, which was very exciting. In partnership with the National Main Street Center, we provide technical assistance, resources, trainings to local communities. What that looks like is things like branding for your downtown and your downtown organization, communication planning. How do you promote the village and downtown to others, to residents, to visitors? How do you recruit businesses into your downtown? How do you support existing small businesses that are there? Market data analysis, board development and training. So as you get started with downtown revitalization efforts, you'll likely create a group of stakeholders that will eventually become a board. how does that board conduct its work for downtown revitalization? We can help develop that board and train them as well. Strategic planning efforts, fund development efforts. Phil mentioned donors that are willing and able to donate to downtown revitalization efforts. How do you cultivate that fund development? Retail merchandising, how do you work with the small businesses to merchandise the retail that they do have? And small business support. We also do provide access to 2 grants. By being certified in the Redevelopment Ready Communities program, you gain access to the Match on Main program, which is a grant program for small business owners, providing up to $25,000 for them to rehab their space, or for them to make inventory purchases, or to update their point of sale system, things like that. But specifically for Main Street communities, we have our Main Street Vibrancy Grant, which provides funding for anything that's vibrancy related. So all of the visioning that Phil showed, Main Street Vibrancy Grant can help achieve that vision. So Main Street's impact in Michigan, these are last year's statistics. What I like to highlight is the $17 million of private investment directly in Michigan's downtowns, coupled with the $9 million of public investment. 144 new businesses, 144 facades and public improvements, but then also, and I think most importantly, the 40,000 volunteer hours just last year. It's all about communities like yourself showing up and doing this work locally. So Michigan Main Street has 22 participating select or master level communities, but we also have about another 15 that are right at the Village of Shelby's level, which is engaging and trying to become a Main Street community. They're in the prospective stages, which we will add to the map as our network and engage level communities. So what is Main Street? It's really a framework, and it's a community-driven economic development strategy that encourages downtown revitalization through 2 things. Historic preservation, so encouraging preserving the authentic character that you already have, but also stakeholder engagement. It's all about identifying what the community's vision is for downtown and then working together to implement that vision. We also have a set of guiding principles. The framework is comprehensive. We work with you on all facets of downtown revitalization, not just one, like marketing, but instead, as I showed through our technical assistance, we really focus on all things related to comprehensive downtown management. We also work with you to leverage your existing assets and your existing partnerships that you have between all of the stakeholders that Phil showed in his slides. It's a self-empowerment program. So much like RRC, we provide training, technical assistance, and resources, but it's really about you guys taking that learning and implementing it locally here yourself. It's an incremental approach, so it's not gonna be one big catalytic thing that happens overnight. It's gonna be a series of small steps over many years that make that change in your downtown. It's also about quality change making. So in community development, we realize change has to occur, but we want it to be quality and based on what we as a community want to see for ourselves. And then I think most important, it's implementation based. It's wonderful to have really great downtown plans, really great strategic plans, but it's all about, again, implementing them and coming together as a community to implement the projects in those plans. So the Main Street approach has 3 integrated components. The first is identifying what is the community's vision for downtown. The next is understanding what can the market support. We provide market data to show what are the economic realities of the types of businesses that could be supported here locally. Who are the customers that come and visit downtown Shelby, and what do they want to see downtown? Once we understand what the market can support and what the community's vision is for downtown, we work with you on identifying a transformation strategy, really fancy word for an economic development strategy for downtown. Once we know what that economic development strategy is, we then can work with you on implementation. What is the projects, what are the programs that you as a community can put in place to revitalize your downtown and create that vibrant and vital place? We also work with you on measuring that strategy. So again, it's not enough to just have the great strategy and the great plans, but how are you measuring the impact that you have? I mentioned the approach is comprehensive, so everything that Main Street does will be in one or more of these areas. So economic vitality is really about strengthening the existing assets and small businesses you have, but also identifying the areas for needed reinvestment. Design is about leveraging the unique historic character that you have to create that inviting and attractive place that Phil was showing in his slides. It's about organization, so cultivating those partnerships and creating and building that organization that's really going to lead downtown revitalization efforts. And then it's about promotion, communicating the value of what downtown Shelby has to offer. So as you get started, there's several questions that you should ask yourself as you're determining if Main Street is the right framework for you to use. First, does your district meet our standards for a traditional downtown? Yes, it does. Drove through it tonight and had dinner at the Pizza Factory. It's a lovely downtown. Our standards are really having 20 or more lot line buildings that are primarily zoned or used for commercial purposes. You meet that by and far. Is historic preservation important to the local community? Is downtown revitalization a community priority? I think yes, given the number of people in this room, but that's for you to decide. Do you want to leverage human and financial resources in support of downtown revitalization? And then do public and private sector stakeholders desire to work together to build that broad-based community engagement and community vision for downtown? Goals of participating in Michigan Main Street as you're a prospective community are to first and foremost familiarize yourselves with the Main Street approach. We have online trainings, we have an online solution center that has resources that are available for free to use at any point in time. You get access to tools designed to build awareness for your Main Street efforts. You also get help with identifying local stakeholders and strategies to bring them to the table if they're not already there. And then lastly, you get to join a statewide network and a nationwide network of Main Street communities that are in the thick of downtown revitalization themselves. We have 4 different levels. So right now, the levels to consider are the network level, which is for communities that are looking for additional resources, but not full Main Street designation for a various number of reasons. Maybe there's not enough capacity, desire, but really you want to join a network of community to get resources. That's a no commitment level. You can join the network level, and we have different trainings and opportunities for network level communities. The next level is the engaged level, which is a 1 to 3 year commitment, and it's for communities that want to become fully designated at the select level. To be at the select level, you do complete an application process to get into the select level. At the select level is where communities are dedicated to really fully implementing the Main Street approach, and you receive our specialized technical assistance. And that's a 5-year commitment. The master level is a 2-year plus commitment, and that's for communities that have been successful at the select level and want to keep using the Main Street approach. We do have a checklist for how to participate in the different levels. The first steps for network or engaged level are to complete our community interest form, and then complete our downtown scorecard, which is a really amazing tool that can help you as you're building your vision and priorities for downtown revitalization efforts. It can help you identify what exactly those priorities are and give you a list of things that you can prioritize. Uh-oh. Must have gone to sleep. There we go.
Oh, very good.
Okay. So I wanted to show just some of our services at each one of the levels so that you can identify what is needed or what to do or what the benefits of participating are. So at the network and engage level, you get access to our Main Street Solution Center. You also get, at the engage level, a reduced Main Street America membership and an engage level toolkit to help you be successful in applying to the select level. You also get access to our 101 presentation, which is what we're here doing tonight. We do downtown forums virtually, and so you can have representatives on those downtown forums where we talk about different best practices. And then we also hold Main Street workshops. At the engaged level, you get access to one of those per year. And then the select level is really where the rest of our technical assistance comes into play. And then that's, again, the list of additional technical assistance. So we do have, I mentioned, the online training series, which is free to participate in, as is all of the programming that we have at Main Street There is no cost to local communities to participate. We just ask that at the select level, you eventually build up enough capacity to fund a full-time executive director and have that organization board. But at the network and engage level is where we work with you to build that capacity to eventually get there. So for the Main Street online training, that's the very first place to start to learn more about Main Street and more about downtown revitalization efforts, some best practices and outcomes of that. Don't rely on just one staff person like Phil to go through the training. Really have a lot of stakeholders go through that training so you all can work on this together. Aim for at least 80% of whoever an eventual downtown board would be to go through that, but at this point in time, I would say aim for as many people to go through that training that are interested in helping with downtown revitalization efforts. Start the process of building the Main Street program in your community. It helps you define roles and responsibilities for what that eventual Main Street organization would do. It helps you identify strategies to sustain volunteers to help get the work done. It also gives you tools to implement fundraising strategies that we talked about earlier. And then also you learn about Main Street best practices from communities, state, and nationwide. So I mentioned the downtown scorecard, another place to get started. This is a tool you can take off the shelf and use tomorrow if you wanted to. It's broken out into 8 areas, so each one of those Main Street 4 points that I mentioned has 2 key areas. So we start with business, and then we have real estate, marketing. I didn't put all of them in here, but I guess I have the last page. So each one of the key areas has different performance measures. This is what, if your downtown was operating at 100%, these performance measures are the things that you should hit to be operating at 100%. It's a self-evaluation tool to say, okay, here's what we could be doing. Are we doing it really well? Or is this an area we should start working on? So each one of the different categories has its own scorecard. And then at the end, you have the matrix that shows, here's where we're doing really well in. Maybe it's place. Maybe we need to start doing more in real estate development and business support. This will show you the key areas that are priority for your community now. It also helps you identify challenges and also 5 key priority areas to start working on. So it's just a really good tool to help getting started with that strategy. We also have our Main Street Solution Center. This is available for free to any community as well. So each one of the 8 areas in the downtown scorecard has its own drop-down of resources available. So any performance measure you need resources on, you can find it online on our Solution Center. This is just some ways to use the Solution Center. So we have pathways to finding your solutions. So one way is to evaluate your needs in all of those 8 areas and then identify a priority area to start with. Maybe you have a pre-identified area of need like business recruitment. You can go on the Solution Center and look at what we have specifically for business recruitment. Or if you're hunting for a specific resource like placemaking, you can go to the place category and look for that as well. So we get asked all of the time, what's the value of participating in Main Street? What's the value of using the Main Street framework? First, it provides just that, a framework and a proven methodology for sustainable downtown revitalization. It also engages the community in the future of your downtown. By bringing the community together to establish that downtown vision together, it provides a framework for them to get involved. It helps you proactively manage the market rather than relying on external forces. It provides you access to tailored technical assistance and outside experts. And then also, it helps drive economic growth into your community by revitalizing your downtown through cultivating local ownership and local investment. So we did, as part of our 20-year anniversary, we did a economic impact study. And so I wanted to show some of the spreads from that economic impact study just to show kind of some of the work that Main Streets do statewide. So first is attracting new businesses. That has a $180 million economic impact for the state of Michigan. And 2,150 jobs have been supported through the Main Street efforts statewide. And the economic impact study has some breakdowns of what local communities do specifically under attracting new businesses. So let's see, providing resources to current property owners, providing resources and financial assistance to current businesses or new businesses. And participating in business recruitment strategies are just some things that Main Streets do to attract new businesses and support local businesses. Attracting more customers to local downtown businesses. That has $116.9 million of economic impact, and most Main Street communities, 95%, directly help bring customers to local businesses through the promotion and marketing efforts that they have. Revitalizing and preserving downtown communities. That has a $24.6 million economic impact. And most Main Street communities help with building and facade improvements, like Phil was mentioning, help with placemaking efforts and things like that. All of that has an economic impact for your community. And then developing attractive places. That has an economic impact as well, $123.4 million. And 100% of our Main Street communities do things like landscaping, beautification, public art, and murals, and all of those things that create that appealing and attractive downtown. So we have a team of 4, a small but mighty team, so I wanted to provide our contact information if there's any questions that you have following the presentation. But for now, I'll take questions right now. Yes.
The village of Shelby to you. They didn't go with this framework. They'd be doing it on their own?
Correct. Yeah. So Michigan Main Street is just a framework or a tool that the village of Shelby can use. We have resources and trainings, but if you don't decide to participate with Michigan Main Street, we still have the Online Solution Center that has tools and resources, but exactly like you said, you would just be doing the downtown revitalization work on your own.
Is there a cost?
No cost to participate. Once you get to the select level is where we require you to have that full board. Most of our communities have downtown development authorities, but some of them have nonprofit organizations that have a board that guides the work of downtown revitalization, and also a full-time executive director or a full-time staff person that's dedicated to downtown. Yes?
This is familiar to me from Hart.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Lee, could you sit with his question?
Yes. Yeah, so the question back there was, this is familiar because Hart was a community that utilized the Main Street framework. So Hart was at the master level when they decided to, we say graduate from our program, but they decided to end their partnership with us. But really, they were successful in utilizing the Main Street framework to guide their revitalization efforts. There are many reasons that communities come into the program and then decide to leave. A lot of it stems from local capacity or local leadership changes, but really they had seen a lot of success with implementing the framework and built the foundation for the economic development efforts they're doing now.
And so how many years were they in this process?
I want to say Hart participated with us for 10 to 12 years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions? All right, so before I hand it back over to Phil, really at this level, what we're here to help you with is to develop that downtown vision and to determine the priorities that you have for downtown revitalization so that we can provide any tools or resources that we have at your disposal. All
right. Yeah, can we give Lee a round of applause? So yeah, she's right. So we're on the first level right now, and we do plan on engaging with Michigan Main Street because I think it's a really good resource for us and tool. And I've already started watching the training videos and all that good stuff and engaging in that way. So, all right, now I got 2 more slides left. It's a call to action. We need you to continue to engage like you are tonight. And there's different levels of engagement. And remember, what we're engaging to is building a community network that will produce a precise vision for downtown and then participate in its implementation. That's what we need, people to help us with that. There's 4 different levels here, and there's going to be there's a survey you'll see coming up. One is to actively lead and as a member of the board committee that Lee was just talking about. And what they will do, it is the biggest level of commitment, And what they will do, what the job of that committee is to bring preciseness to the vision. I came up with a lot of broad ideas. Now we want to work with design consultants to help bring preciseness to what it looks like in Shelby. And so how are we going to do that? We're going to do that by hosting work sessions for gathering feedback like this, but it would be more interactive than it is just you listening to people talk. It's going to be more work sessions. It would be providing leadership and forming and carrying it out as well. So that's level 1. I hope that we have, my goal is, I hope we have 4 to 5 to 6 people in this room or online or in our community that want to be engaged at this level. That would be a dream for me. Level number 2 is actively participate, but don't want to be a part of a formal committee. So you don't want to go to the meetings, you don't want to do all that piece, but you still want to lend a hand. You still want to help with festivals. You want to help with come to work sessions and all those sorts of things. That's level 2. Level 3 is you want to kind of stand back, but you want to provide some input, but you don't really want to volunteer or anything like that yet. That's level 3. And then you just want to watch for now. Level 4 is you want to watch for now. Now, I don't want to discount. If you're there, I'm not going to discount that in anybody here. And I'll tell you why. Because you could start at the watch for now, and you're watching, and you're watching, and you're getting these emails, and you're seeing what we're doing, and you start getting excited, and you may end up being at the level 1 in 3 years because you're loving what you're seeing, and you want to be a part of it. So if you're there, don't be ashamed of that for right now. If everybody's there, then we're a little trouble. I'm a little trouble. But if there's a handful of you there, that's okay. We'll keep, there's an opportunity for you to get emails and see the progress that's going to take place. So here's the timeline. First of all, it's going to be baby steps. Putting the pieces together will take time, longer time than what I'm willing to give, than what I want. I'll say it that way. I'm willing to give it, but I want it all done tomorrow. I want our village to be the place to go tomorrow, but I know this takes time. So I'm preaching to myself more than to you probably. What I'm asking is that by the end of January 25, you can take a screenshot of that, or you could actually take a picture of it right now and get that QR code and take the survey. So if you want to do that, feel free right now to open that up. If you hate online surveys, there are hard copies on the back table behind Tammy Carey over there. And if you want to fill that out and get it to us, please do that as well. I'm hoping, this is my goal, is to have to strategically form the Downtown Stewardship Committee and have it up and running, I'd even like to say March, but April, and have us taking action by April. Now, I had the word strategic in there, strategically. Not everyone that necessarily will volunteer for this committee, that's exactly their perfect gifting. It may be in a certain direction, but you have a gift, and we want to utilize it. So we're going to be strategic about who's on the committee and how we form it, because we want what's best for the community, who's going to get things done. Precise vision formation, hopefully, I'm hoping by December of 2025. And I hope that we can implement it in 2026, spring of 2026. Lofty goals, I know, but hey, let's dream a little bit. Let's shoot for the stars, and maybe we'll find out we'll get there, right? So, if you could, that's my ask for you. If you could take a picture of that QR code, you will also. I sent out to anybody that was on the calendar invite. I sent out this presentation so you could access it there. I'll also put it on. It'll be on our website. It'll be on Facebook. All these places. We'll put that QR code every place that I can think of, that we can think of. Well, that's what we have for you tonight. Hey, isn't it nice to get done in a meeting before the time's up? But before we go, thank you for being here. I counted 65 people here tonight. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And we have one child looking at us from the outside. No, that means something to people that are watching too. So for those of you that are watching, there's 65 people here tonight. This is just outstanding, above my expectations. So thank you very much, and have a great night.